Exigen Services Latvia is one of the largest IT companies in the Baltic states, with annual turnover of more than 14 million euros. A team of more than 300 professionals develops and supports IT systems from data warehousing and e-management systems to modern solutions for mobile applications. Clients include state institutions as well as leading firms in the areas of finance, insurance, telecommunications, transport, and other sectors. The company is active in the Baltics, Western Europe, and North America. The story of Exigen Services Latvia began in 1990. 1990. The once mighty Soviet Empire was on the verge of collapse. People in the Baltic states were talking more and more boldly about independence. Businesses in the form of cooperatives had been permitted since the late 1980s. IT specialist and entrepreneur Jānis Gobiņš, who lived in Germany and whose firm mainly did jobs for Siemens, arrived in Riga. He met programmers from the University of Latvia and agreed on a partnership. This led to the development of the graphic business modeling tool Grade. But the key events leading to the success of Latvian software design were still to come. Jānis Gobiņš met two young men, IT specialist Valdis Lokenbachs and bartender Ainārs Gulbis. I happened to mention that we should set up a software firm in Latvia. I didn't mean it very seriously, but Gulbis is the sort of guy who takes an idea and runs with it straight away. Suddenly I heard from Riga about ads in the newspapers and on TV looking for IT experts. About 250 people sent in their CVs, and I had to go and interview them. The cooperative Biržas Sabiedrība was formed in 1990, and Jānis Gobiņš had its first big project in mind. The German Artists Union had announced a bid for tenders to modernize its insurance system, and Gobiņš brought the procurement documents to Riga. I brought the specifications to Riga and I said to the guys, "Hey, if we win this, you'll get a week's holiday in Germany." This was at a time when no one had been to Germany. This was such a great motivation that these people had already built half the system in the 3 months allocated to submit the bid. Biržas Sabiedrība won the tender and a group of programmers was established. The cooperative's managers sought to provide ideal working conditions. It was paradise. We had never seen anything like it, starting with breakfast provided for us at 8:30 every morning. While eating breakfast, we discussed what we were going to do. Then everybody got busy with work. The owners of the house we were staying at went shopping at the market and fixed us lunch. We did everything to find people with high IQs, stamina, and amazing levels of knowledge. We tried to do everything to ensure that they wouldn't have to run away from Latvia. The joint stock company Software House Riga was established on December 20th, 1990. One of its stated goals was to develop Latvia's economy. In January 1991, however, plans for a bright future seemed to evaporate as hardline Soviet troops beat up, wounded, and killed pro-independence activists. The German boss was panicking. What would happen now? So I wrote him a letter with the promise that even if the entire USSR went up in flames, we would still finish this project. Although Latvia's de facto independence still hadn't been restored, people were thinking about the future. Latvian politicians who supported independence understood that a modern administrative system had to be created. Software House Riga was involved in this work, and it created the Council of Ministers information system, free of charge. I wouldn't call it charity. We were just trying to help our government in this situation by providing it with an information system. We worked with the Council of Ministers and Parliament. We helped Parliament to develop its first chancery system. At the Council of Ministers, I worked on the Legislative Acts information system called NAIS. When we first visited the legal department of the Council of Ministers, it was like an old-fashioned library with drawers stuffed with cards showing amended documents. All of that had to be automated somehow. In 1993, when the first version of the Legislative Act system was ready, Ivars Puksts and Valdis Lokenbachs visited Latvian embassies in Europe and installed it free of charge. The NAIS is still functioning and is regularly upgraded. Software house Riga grew rapidly in the early 1990s, thus laying the foundations for Latvia's IT sector. The key to success was far-sighted management. The goal was to create a company with at least 500 employees. This was achieved by attracting both local and foreign clients, mostly firms from German-speaking countries. In 1993, the company started working with Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Planning to create a 5-year planning information system. The first big local projects were the digitalization of the Latvian post office and the state tax system. We were able to convince the government that was in office at that time that this was a great opportunity, creating a tax system using our homegrown talent as opposed to buying expensive Western products. An ambitious project was completed in Ventspils. Ivars Puksts, who headed the project, says, "We were ahead of our time." The goal was pretty big for those days, an information system for the city of Ventspils and everything in it, including its businesses. By 1994, software house Riga was more than just an IT company. The company was involved in shipping, tourism, and even oil. Management decided to divide the company into 2 IT enterprises, SWH Technology and SWH Information Systems. At the time of the breakup, around 500 people were employed by both firms. SWH Technology was a technology developer, and its biggest client for many years was IBM. IBM taught us a lot about working in this sector, how to work with a big client, how to guarantee a high level of quality in our work. IBM demanded this and provided us with an education. One of the most interesting projects involved the new programming language Java, which was released in 1994. IBM invited SWH Technology to participate in a global project involving teams of programmers from Latvia, Belarus, India, and China. Today, every programmer knows this language and it is used everywhere, but back then it was completely new. The first challenges were learning this language and then trying to create things with it. SWH Information Systems' main job was to develop information systems on the basis of client orders. Later, the firm was renamed Dati. The company focused on the Latvian market and on German-speaking countries. We made a name for ourselves in Germany, and we were involved in quite a large project involving LTU, the charter operator that is now Air Berlin, for its ticket reservation system. 30 people worked on that project at one time. To operate in German-speaking countries, Dati established the subsidiary Dati Deutschland, which attracted major clients like the Swiss finance companies Bradford Exchange and Bank Julius Baer, Hungarian Railways, and the German IT firm Software AG. Thanks to the IBM projects, SWH Technology continued to grow, but management understood the risks of a business model that was based on a single, though big, client. The decision was made to find a foreign partner. That partner was found in the United States. Exigen acquired SWH Technology, and 3 years later, the company became Exigen Latvia. The firm mainly filled orders from the U.S. parent company, handling document and workflow management projects. When SWH Technology became Exigen Latvia, Dati also faced a decision. The big shareholders gradually came to realize that globalization, there was talk of joining the European Union and so on. They understood that there was no getting away from globalization, so we started thinking about merging with foreign companies. Former colleagues working for Exigen Latvia encouraged Dati to join Exigen. 2004, Datti became Exigen Group Datti, and the next logical step came in 2006. Both firms merged, thus establishing the largest IT company in the Baltics and employing around 700 people. At this time, one of the biggest clients was Warner Music. Almost 100 employees in the Riga office worked on that project. Cooperation has continued with many local and foreign clients, some of it dating as far back as the early 1990s. Exigen Latvia enjoyed rapid growth until the global economic crisis in 2008. The crisis affected the IT sector worldwide. One of the biggest blows for the company was the cancellation of the big project for Warner Music. Many local clients also suspended their projects. To survive, we had to fire around 300 employees over a 6-week period, around half of our staff at that time. The crisis stimulated management to improve work productivity, which helped the company to survive the crisis and emerge stronger than ever. We introduced a new measure of productivity, revenues per employee. This is not a new science, but we started monitoring the issue during the crisis and are still doing so today. I can happily report that over the last 4 or 5 years, productivity per employee has continually grown. In other words, we have become more efficient. Exigen Services Latvia is the only Latvian software developer to receive a silver category for 3 years in a row from the Sustainability Index. In the summer of 2013, the firm's U.S. parent company merged with the IT consulting firm Return on Intelligence. The combined enterprise's strategic priorities are mobile solutions, analytics, and cloud computing services. Exigen Services Latvia started out in 1990 as a partnership between visionary entrepreneurs and talented software designers. They didn't just want to make money, they wanted to help build their country. And they have strived to follow this path no matter which company they have worked for or what it was called. The company's core values are competence, partnership, and integrity. We place a great deal of importance on partnership both within and outside the company because you can't do anything significant on your own. We have never wanted to be a tiny, insignificant player. The third value is integrity. We do what we say we will do. Throughout its history, the company has supported science and education, the foundation of a knowledge-based economy. Today, Exigen Services Latvia grants scholarships to the best computer science students at Latvian universities, helps to create IT study programs, and supports young Latvian programmers in youth programming competitions around the world. The firm is a founding partner and organizer of several prizes at the Riga Technical University and the University of Latvia. We are Latvian patriots, and this is central to everything we do. We are a sustainable and socially responsible company, and we would like our grandchildren to live in a prosperous Latvia.